Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And yes, this will be a new series of videos for MySQL. So in this series, I'll be covering all the basics of MySQL as well as the advanced and all the intermediate level retrieval queries. We'll be using this really cool and a free tool known as Lucidcharts to design the entity relationship diagram. And also in this series, I'll be teaching you how to reverse engineer and how to forward engineer a database. And weekly we'll be solving the HackerRank questions because HackerRank has a great set of questions for MySQL, which will be covering all the basics and the advanced level topics which you will face in MySQL interviews. So for this, please subscribe to the channel and you can just follow up this playlist. I'll try to post every day, and the HackerRank questions will be done weekly. And let's get started. So just like all these series, this first video or the 0th video will be the installation of the MySQL Workbench and how to set up the MySQL server on a Windows machine. So you can just head over to mysql.com and you can just go to downloads, and there you can see, you can see here the MySQL community GPL downloads. You can just click this and it will take you to the download page. And as you can see here, we have the MySQL Workbench as the option. Just click this and make sure, guys, you have the Oracle account for this, because it will ask you to register for this. So if you have that account in hand, then well and good. Alright, so now you have the operating system. It will auto detect actually. If you're on a Mac, it will be Macintosh. And since I'm using Windows 10 and it is showing me Windows 10. Okay, and once you see this page, you can just directly head over to go to the download page, and here you can see the Windows x86 installer, which is of 427 MB. I would recommend you can download this version, not the web installer. So you can just click download and you can get the option to log in here. That's it. Once you log into your Oracle account, and you can just simply download the zip file. Okay, so guys, before we get into the installation of MySQL and setting up the server, I actually wanted to show you this free tool which we'll be using in this series, which is Lucidcharts, or also known as Lucid Diagrams. If you're familiar with MySQL, you have seen this thing known as ERD or ERR, which is Entity Relationship Diagram, which is a graphical representation of the entities and the relationship between the tables in MySQL. So I would recommend, instead of using the workbench provided by MySQL, you can just sign up for Lucidcharts, and this is a really cool and a really UI rich graphic interface rich tool for the ERD diagram. So you can just sign up for this Lucidcharts, have a free account, and in the further parts of this series we'll be using Lucidcharts. So after unpacking the installer, the Windows MSI installer, you will be welcomed with the license agreement page, which will be of the type GNU public license. You basically have to accept the license terms. So you'll just click the I accept the license term, and then you have to click next. Then you can see you have the options for installation. So you have around 5 types of installations, which will be developer default, server only, client only, full, and custom. So what this is, basically it will show you the options of packages which you have to download and install. We are choosing the full option because we don't want the server or the developer option, and the full option will contain all sorts of files like MySQL server, MySQL cell, and MySQL workbench, and we'll be specifically using the MySQL workbench. And also it will be installing some additional packages like C and C++ connector support, as well as for Python 3.7. So once you click next, you can see that here. Now you have to choose the path of installation for this. So we generally take the C drive, but by default the name server 8.0 will be selected. You just have to rename it to anything like server 8.1 or just 8. So I'm keeping the server name as server 8. And then you have to click next. Now you can see here you have the option for the Python connector and the Visual Studio support. and you can click both the products if you want to install them in case you're interested. Otherwise you can just click next and move on. Now you can see here the installation page. Now it will show you all the packages which are ready to download. Make sure you have a good internet connection because all these packages will be fetched from the internet. As you can see, we have the MySQL workbench, the MySQL server, the router, the connector, and the documentation and some examples. So you have to just click the execute button and it will start downloading. Initially it will show you some errors, but it will be done at the end. And it will take some time depending upon your internet connection. And for the pages which is showing error, you can just click try again, and once you are done, it will show all the green tick marks and the status will be complete. Click next, and you can see you are almost done with the product installation. You can see the examples and the MySQL server is ready to configure. So the product configuration, the server and the router is ready to configure. Click next. Now you have the group replication. So we generally choose the standalone MySQL server instead of the InnoDB. So we will just take the standalone MySQL server or the classic MySQL replication. Now it's the development computer we are taking, and the port will be 3306 by default. You do not have to change anything. TCP/IP will remain the same. Now the authentication mode is recommended to keep a strong password. So make sure you remember this password or just write it somewhere, because later you may need it to make changes to your SQL database. In case you want to upgrade or make some changes, you need the password. So I'm going to set root password for MySQL and repeat the same password. And make sure guys you know the password. Even if it shows weak, just remember the password. We'll go to the add user, and in case you want to add a new user, but we will keep the local instance as the default for MySQL, and we'll just go with next. Now you can see the Windows service name will be named MySQL port 80 or MySQL 80, which is a standard system account by Windows. So we'll just continue with this, and we click next. Now it's the last step where all these things will be executed, which will include the writing file configuration, starting the server, initializing the database, and as well as the MySQL log. So once you click execute, all these things will be executed, and you're almost done with the installation. Just wait for some time. You can see all the green tick marks, and you're almost done. Now you have to just hit finish, and you can see here all the other things are ready to configure. Now this is the post configuration window where you have the option to configure, and you do not have to click any router options for MySQL Bootstrap or InnoDB cluster, and the management will be root and 3306. And at last you have the standalone server, which will be on your local host. So here you have to check the password. So I told you can remember the password, just write and keep it somewhere. Enter the same password and check the database connection. So I'm just going to enter the password and check. Yes, so the connection is successful. Now it is connected to my local host, which is hosted on port 3306. Now we will be running some scripts to see, then click execute, and if everything is alright and your installation is done properly, you will get this message: configuration and samples done. Okay, so once you're done with the installation, you can visit the MySQL community installer once again, and as you can see, it will open the installer, and there you can see all the versions of MySQL installed. As you can see, the shell and the MySQL workbench being installed here, and the architecture. This is useful when you have to modify the MySQL server on your Windows machine, or if you want to upgrade the MySQL server. As well, you can see the MySQL command line client being installed here. So people who want to use the command line can enter the same password as you have set for the MySQL database, and you can access it through the command line, and you can perform all types of operation on the command line. Okay, and if you want to modify something, you can see all the installations right here. So your MySQL workbench looks something like this. This is your MySQL DBMS, which stands for Database Management System. You can manage all your databases, all your tables, stored procedures, triggers right through this IDE. And this is a GUI application for MySQL. And here you can see your local instance being hosted on port 80, which is your default Windows port, and your local host is on 3306. This you have defined while installation, and when I click this, it will take me to the editor, and you can use the Windows key Control plus to enlarge it, and you can see here all the commands. Okay, I'll just walk you through quickly in this workbench. So you can see here, this is your query editor, and you have the option to open the files, or you have the option to save the scripts here. This is the run or the execute. This is partial execute when you want to run a piece of code or a piece of query. And there you have the limit options. In case you have like thousands of rows or columns, you can limit the result being displayed in the output window. And on the left side is your schemas, and your schemas are nothing but the databases right here. As you can see, there's a database called company, and when I click this, inside it you can see the tables, views, stored procedures, functions, and all sort of things. When I click the tables, I can see all my tables right here, and since I do not have any functions or views right now, it will be empty. But when I click the table, suppose I click the column, I mean the client table, I can see the columns, indexes, foreign keys, and triggers right here. And since it is not having any trigger, it's empty. But column wise, you can see there are 3 columns: client ID, client name, and branch ID. So that is how you can see the tables in your database. And in case you want to access the table, you can click the view table option, and it will show you the columns right here, and the including rows that is stored there. And anything or any changes you make to the database, there is a refresh command button right here. You can click the refresh once you have executed a query to see the output result. Also, when I move to administrator or the admin dashboard, here I can see the server status right here. As you can see, my local instance, or I would say local host, is on port 80, and I'm sorry, on port 3306, and my connection name is MySQL 80. So, and also you can see the host name Anshuman right here, and on the right side of the screen you can see the server status, the CPU load, the connection, and the traffic being generated from the database. Also, any keys and the public SSH or SHA keys will be displayed here, and how much disk and RAM your server is consuming will be displayed here. Okay, and in traffic window you can see the data in kilobytes per second. That is your administrator window. Also, if you want to reconnect to any DBMS, you can click this button to again connect to your database. Okay, so back to the schema window. Any database or any table created can be viewed through schemas. And coming back to the file options, you can see here there's a navigator for the new SQL tab. Whether you want to create a new query, you can do that right here. Okay, and you have the options to hide the side panel, or if you want the side panel again. As you can see, this is not required, so you can just click this to hide it. Yeah, and what else? Yeah, so you have your key right here to make a new database, any new function or a stored procedure, again any trigger you can create right here. And triggers can again be accessed by using the command line. People use command line to access the triggers one. And if you go to the database again, you can see here connect to the database, manage database, reverse engineer. We'll come back to the reverse engineer and forward engineer later. As of now, if you want to create a new model, you can just click this, and there you go, you have the option for creating the new model. And you can add the ERR diagrams or ERD diagrams right here, but for this video series we'll be using the Lucid charts, which I have explained in the starting. So we won't be using this, but again, if you click the add diagram, you can see it will take you to the ERR window, and here you can create your ERD diagrams by going to a new table. You can place a new table right here, and in this table you can rename the table, add the columns, you can define your PK stands for primary keys, not null values, unique values, or auto increment values, or any unique keys, and you can link them by using the connections, one to one, one to many, many to one, all the things. We will see that in the later part of the video. And so that was your MySQL workbench, and it is a great DBMS tool. It is used extensively. It has really good community support, and it is supported over multiple operating systems. So that was it for this video.